show them because I've got to go where the girls are down there because I've got some liquor back line.
Nico Vechner and Dion Lotter, they aim to top up their line-out supply, which will be essential if those powerful young backs of theirs are to be encouraged to tilt their lances. The decision-making of Henny Leroux will be a key factor, as will the intrusive gifts of Theo van Rensburg. There are 6 representatives from the Transvaal side, 3 each from Natal and Western Province, 2 from Northern Transvaal, and 1 from Eastern Province. The captain, for the second time, is Francois Pinard. Inspirational gifts certainly needed from the captain this evening. One of the features, of course, that appeals very much to somebody like myself from the backwoods of Scotland is a wonderful display, which we'll have a look at in a moment. The French side, of course, pinned their faith in the team who drew 2020 with South Africa a week ago, an amalgam of wide experience and developing potential, with the attacking gifts, of course, of the fullback Sadourny, a father figure for the backs in Philippe Sella, the sizzling menace of Alain Penaud. That grizzled pack contains the captain, Olivier Rouma, in a formidable tight 5. And, of course, that powerful blend at loose forward, Philippe Benetton, Marc Cécillon and Laurent Caban. They boast 74 caps to just 8 of their opposite numbers. France seeking to maintain their 100% record against South Africa at Ellispark, and, of course, to enhance their prestige as the reigning 5 Nations and European champions. It's a side coached by Pierre Berbizier, capped 56 times as the French scrum half, and of course with his assistant Christophe Mombe. So we've got a referee of vast experience here, and a fellow who believes very much in preventive refereeing, and by that I mean he tries to encourage the players during the game by reminding them about the laws. Henny Leroux, playing in only his 2nd international, the Transvaal standoff half, is about to get the game started. The young fella who understudied Naas Botha and now has come out from the great man's shadow. The crowd hush as Henny Leroux gets the game started, and immediately the Springbok hand gets to it, and Robert Dupré hoists a massive up and under, landing deep inside the French 22. And you can see the tremendous drive of the South African forward, but one of them had gone over the top and has been penalised, and so the first penalty goes to France through over-anxiety, I would think, Andy. Side. Beautifully laid back. Weber with the high kick. We'll see a lot of that early on, I should imagine. Nicely laid back. And the thumping drive on there. Amari leading the way as he does so often. Weber going to switch. The switch out to the standoff, Penaud. Penaud back on there to the right wing, and an interception there by Olivier for South Africa. And that was a very important interception indeed. Offside against the Frenchman, and it'll be a penalty. To second from the tail. Rouma, normally number 4, has gone to the back. Taken it in the front there by Smith. Lotter almost got the ball and was almost going up the touchline. Nicely. Leroux with a little kick through, having got it from Dupré. Just on the French 10 metres line. Now you would see the referee, Ed Morrison, pointing. He's telling them to get back and behind the rear feet to stay onside. Ball knocked forward. A lot of this in the first international in Durban. And of course a key man is Caban at the back, as well as Rouma at the front. But Lotter went in, Smith goes on, the drive on there by the big lad. And it's going to be a try, I think, for Strauss, who is pretty near. As Stradum went driving on. There's a real chance further out for Olivier. It's going to be a lovely try for Small. A magnificent try for Small. And believe it or not, he's on the wrong wing. He was on the wrong wing. That'll be well worth seeing again. What a start for South Africa. Just have a look at this. That was the drive on, first of all, Uli Schmidt. Then the big fella, Stradum, took it on. He pulled people in. The French defence was a little bit disorganised here. And then watch how Strauss made another dent. thumping in there, sort of fellow who'd run through concrete, of course, Tian Strauss, and then this beautiful ball laid back, and there it's fed along the line there from Fultz, and it was this pass from Muller that was the crucial one, and Small, who should have been on the other wing, was on the left. A great try. Theo van Rensburg, top point scorer in the Super 10 competition, which were won by his province Transvaal, with a chance to stretch the lead. Lovely night for goal kicking. Firmish ground, dry ball. It works, I think, for the young Rensburg. Back off the upright. That was rotten luck, but the South Africans are leading by 5 points to 0. Great jump again, that done by Vechner. Along the line there to Sela. Sela playing, believe it or not, in his 91st international match, 2 behind the world record. Weber waits. Weber with the chip kick. Back there goes Robert Dupre to help. Taken well there by Olivier. He's over the 22. That's a great run by him. What a joy to see the South African back running. Tian Strauss out to Willie Hills. Willie Hills gets support from Pienaar. The drive by the South African forward. They've made a magnificent start to this match. Huge kick into Dutch, the quick throw in, and of course you can take it from away behind where the ball went in, if you like. A loud blast. A penalty for offside, being in front of the kicker. It was actually Philippe Saint-André. He was in front of the kicker, and of course, nowadays, if you're in front, you must stop and wait until the kicker has played you onside, or somebody from behind him.
Oh, what a dynamic start by the South African forwards, Bill. They're rocking and mauling beautifully, and the ball is coming back really quickly, and that's where you start aggressive movements from. It's where we saw the try come from, and what confidence from the left wing, Jacques Olivier, inside his own 22, close to the line, in fact, and deciding to run it out, and then who was on his shoulder but the loose head prop?
Just a word about the penalty and the fact that in the past, of course, Saint-André could have run forward to within 10 metres of the opponent waiting for the ball. Now you can't. You must stop until you're played onside. So, Theo van Rensburg, listen to the roar if this goes over. Midway between halfway and the 22. Van Rensburg, has he struck it well? Indeed he has. Things are looking up for the Springboks. 8 points to 0. Once again, it was Stratham who took the ball that time. Robert Dupre, another huge kick right above the height of the stands. Sadourny is a very dangerous runner indeed, the fullback. There he goes, almost up to halfway. And the pass back inside there to Weber, who was absolutely flying. The pass wasn't a good one, but in any case, a Frenchman was handling on the ground. The metre gap down the middle. The long one to the tail, meant for Caban. Ruma did very well indeed for a big, powerful, awkward chap. Took the bounce, drove on over the game line. Weber out to Pinot. Sela. Sadourny is in the line. There's real danger here. And a clearance kick by Leroux. But it was the tackle of Sadourny which was so vital. We might have a look and see it again. It was a brilliant tackle. And of course the clearance from Leroux. Theo van Rensburg, who is a local Transvaal hero. A big kick, he hasn't found touch. Weber takes it very well indeed. He's got Sadourny with him. Now Sadourny is another Blanco. Look at him go. He really is very quick. He's opened it up there. Saint-André caught just 10 metres short of the South African line. It's a beautiful ball for Weber. Weber to Pinot. That's the Gario, and it's not a very good one. Now Robert Dupre going for it and cleared it. Hasn't found his touch though. Still Sadourny. Off he explodes once again. That's going to land on the South African 22. The South Africans just having difficulty here in getting to the pace of the French play, Andy.
Blanco, I know a lot of people fancy he might have a long career.
Weber, Pinot, he's very quick too, but very good hounding there, Robert Dupre. Saint-André going for the corner. And it's Tian Strauss who saves South Africa there with the tackle. Saint-André the wing, so close. look at this, Strauss number 8. It was a high tackle, and Saint-André really took rather a dim view, in fact, but the referee didn't. There at the front there is Olivier Merle, who's a massive man. He's actually 19 stone 4, 125 kilos. We'll have another look at him later on. A Sella goal, but a very quick tackle there by Muller. Still the ball out to Lacroix, and Lacroix kicking for touch at the corner, puts it out on the full. So the Frenchman just a little bit anxious at this moment. Schmidt with the throw, beautifully taken by the big man at the front, Stradum. Again, the high Gary Owen. But a loud blast, it may be an offside. Bernard Sal is caught there. Uli Schmidt with that distinctive headband now. What a quick hooker. He got up at tremendous pace there, but of course he was much too quick. Henny Leroux. Uli Schmidt actually got in and got the ball back, but the French, you see, drove over the front of it. Pinot with a left-footed drop goal. It's a very big kick indeed, and it's over. The referee, Ed Morrison, was beautifully positioned. That's a drop goal by Alain Pinot, his 4th drop goal for France in internationals, and it was a monster. He was well out here on the 10 metres line, left-footed. That's his strong foot. Look at the referee, what a bit of running Ed Morrison did, and that was a magnificent goal. It's 8 points to 3. And the restart. French forwards have got a new state of anxiety, I think, there, as Benetton number 6 and Caban number 7 are trying to work it. Beautifully to Weber. I must say that the French are turning ball back well, but the South African backs were encroaching, and Weber has come away quickly. This is Sella. Sella up to his own 10 metres line. The ball once again recycled. Pinot, nicely out to Bernard Sal. Bernard Sal on there to the big flank forward Caban, the very fast man. He turns to lay it back. And once again, holding on to the ball on the floor, says the referee. The South Africans penalised again. It's within their half. Ed Morrison shouting to the fellas, look, if you're down on the floor, don't hang on.
Well, almost in the same position that Thierry Lacroix missed his first kick just a couple of minutes ago, but he's that sort of kicker that this one might go sailing through the middle of the uprights, whereas the first one was really a horrible kick. But what a lovely drop goal that was from Alain Pinot. He's got a sweet left foot. And, of course, 2 drop goals for the French in the first test at Durban. And Weber is the other specialist. And South Africa have got to beware of those 2 ploys, because they're 8-3 up and they're good value for that. But they must stop giving chances to put points on the board to France.
And drop goals from good quality ball are so difficult to stop. In any case, it's Thierry Lacroix again, the 26-year-old, who's a physiotherapist in his hometown of Dax. Looks reasonable. The Dutch judges have got their flags up, and France are beginning to fight back. That was another lovely kick by Lacroix. He's now scored 71 points on this tour against New Zealand here last season. So he's a very experienced player. He has to be against the French front row. Yes, Lotter got hands to it first of all, but it was untidy. And really the forwards did well to make something out of that. And indeed Robert Dupré did as well, because he was under all kinds of pressure. Yes, the foot was in touch, so it's a very good line out for the South Africans, just inside the French 22. And there was just going to be a little bit of niggle, but that's the law. Lacroix. Oh, he sliced it badly. Strauss waits. Strauss takes off like a greyhound at the slip. A big greyhound, mind you, but very quick. Dupré nicely along the line here. Van Rensburg is in the line. James Small is going over the 22. A marvellous run by Small, the powerful fella, on there to Lotter. And they're only 15 metres out. Lotter's pass, but diving over the top, the South Africans. And the penalty given to the Frenchman. Boos round the ground, and Weber has spoilt it, but in fact the South Africans didn't retire 10 metres quickly enough, and that would have been a great scrummage for South Africa if they'd got back quickly and Weber's knock-on had been penalised. Thierry Lacroix then, this chance to give France a 1-point lead. He just made it. I think he was a bit anxious. He had a look, but it's over, and it's 9 points to 8 for the Frenchman, and we're into injury time at the break.
Sadness for South Africa. They dominated the first quarter, but they've really let their attention slip in the second quarter, and the French have come back at them. Lacroix, with 3 kicks on target, has taken them into a 1-point lead, and really South Africa will be scratching their heads at half-time, wondering how they're behind.
Leroux, the restart kick. Rouma, this great moving tower block that the Frenchmen have there, leaping so high as well. Weber, Pinot, they're working well too. That's a huge kick, but he hasn't found touch. Van Rensburg, beautifully positioned. He's very quick too, and he manufactured the kick well. It was nicely judged, and he's found a good touch. Referee's whistle, however, goes for half-time, and it arrives with France leading by 9 points to 8, but South Africa having scored the 1 try through James Small. He's 6'7", which puts him over 2 meters, and you can see he can jump as well. That was a superb jump by Wegner. And there, Leroux safe and sound. Quick throw in. That's the long hoof, but beautifully taken there. Van Rensburg with the high kick. That's going to land near the 22. Van Rensburg is up. A marvellous tackle by him. It shows his pace over the ground, and a super bit of work there by the South African fullback has produced a penalty for South Africa in a very kickable position. It's as kickable as that. You can see here underneath it, who was it? Was it Sella or Lacroix? He didn't fancy it anyway. In point of fact, it was in fact Sadourny, the fullback, who took it. You got that Red Indian mask of his on tonight, but this is a very important one indeed. 1 out of 2 he's kicked so far, but this is the one that can put South Africa back into the lead, and the psychological effect of that could be considerable. An unusual kicking style. You'll notice he walks back almost at right angles to the ball. I've heard about round the corner, but that's kind of ridiculous. However, it won't be if he slots it. Theo van Rensburg. The whole of South Africa waits. Just listen. And he's pulled it. Well, I don't know whether he maybe got that knock and whether that had any effect or not in the business. Short line by South Africa, and in fact Lotter got hands to it once more. But Weber, the drive on by Rouma to the South African 10 metres line. He may not have turned quickly enough, but the French forwards, they've got the strength of gorillas actually. They're very strong in upper body strength, and in fact they've pinched the ball. They've pinched it and they're driving. A loud blast for going round on the wrong side of the mall. The law, of course, has been changed now. If you approach Rucker Mall, you must go in from behind the rear feet. In the past, it used to be behind the ball, so that you could go in a bit further forward. But now, if you do that, it's a penalty. You must come in from the back. And that is serious for the Springboks, because Thierry Lacroix is well within kicking distance. It's 9 points to 8. They've played 5 minutes of the second half. And Thierry Lacroix here with 74 points so far on tour. 21 penalty goals, 3 conversions and a try. Lacroix getting fairly good-natured, quiet as he contemplates this effort. Looks fairly good. It is fairly good, and that is a very important kick indeed. Lacroix will be the hero of France if that leads France on to a victory here. It's 12 points to 8, and they've played just over 6 minutes of the first half. Leroux with a restart kick. Up goes Rouma again. Rouma, it's so important at those restart kicks by the opposition to have a big man like him who can jump and who has the courage to go up there. Weber waits. Pinot, it's the long kick. Olivier is back there in front of his own post. Gives it outside to Van Rensburg. And Van Rensburg returns from inside the 22, and that's a scorcher. That was a real clatter he gave that one. And it's a beauty. You notice the little extra spring in your step when you've done well. See if Robert Duprea has honesty written all over his put-in. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did you see it? The pick-up by Strauss. On there to Lotter, out to Duprea. Duprea gives it inside there to Small. Lotter carrying on. That is really great stuff by those fellas. Now the switch. Duprea out there along the line there. And it's Tian Strauss who's taking it on with a pass from Leroux. The French are over the top and offside, and it's a penalty to South Africa. Inside the French 22, in front of the 66,000 crowd, are concentrating on Theo van Rensburg, because this could bring South Africa back to within just 1 point. Van Rensburg, the flags are raised. His second penalty goal of the match. South Africa are back. It's Jean-Michel Gonzalez. Captains his home club, Bayonne. And using that long, very high effort. Grau, the prop forward, had gone round. Rouma helps Weber. This is Pinot, that's that light. But the Frenchman certainly went over the top of the ball there. Weber trying to work it clear. And the referee telling the South Africans to get their hands off it.
Rensburg en Skalkburger, een skepskop-poging van Terry Lacroix, die center. Bal wat tussen die pale deur is. En er staan punte vir Frankryk. En is Frankryk wat voorloop. Met 27 minute oor in die tweede helfte. Met 15 punte teenoor 12. Terry Lacroix hou hierdie bal.
Scored 15 points to 11. And they've played 27 minutes of the match to go. Plenty of time for South Africa.
First, you might be able to get it over the referee, but you can't get it over Bill McLaren.
3 penalty goals from Lacroix and a drop goal so far. This could bring him up to 15 points and could give France a very useful cushion indeed. Lacroix then, it's a long one, that's the 10 metres line, but he's certainly got it on target. If it's got the legs, it has got the legs, and Lacroix has done it once more. 18 points to 11, the French are pulling away, and yet South Africa still with the one try in the match, and a beautiful try it was by James Small. The Springboks with everything to do now. That's Benetton, the flank forward, going. You see how quick he is, and he's a great big fellow too. I once saw him playing in sevens at Ulster. Referee gives them permission. The French 10 metres line, a lovely strike by Schmidt. Out there nicely, and they missed out everybody to Van Rensburg. Van Rensburg with the kick through. Up there goes James Small. A very good bit of saving indeed by Philippe Saint-André. And it's Pinot who clears for France. A massive kick by him up to halfway. But he's certainly, if he can keep this pace up, he's going to be a real good one. But Rouma won that one. Now it's Pinot. Along the line there to Sella. Kampong is in the line. There's a chance for Bernard Sal. Bernard Sal, who's an absolute flying machine. He's over the 22. Marvellous tackle by Olivier. And a loud blast there as, yes, he was penalised for hanging on. Bernard Sal, the right wing. We made that electrifying dash of his, but he is back. Theo van Rensburg, 2 penalty goals to his credit so far. One of the most versatile players in the South African game. He's played fullback, centre, wing, standoff half, now settled at fullback. And as I say, he's got now 169 points this season. Crowd hushed. They won't be if he kicks it. Van Rensburg stroked it nicely. The stand will tell you it's a magnificent effort by Van Rensburg. The hats are in the air. South African hopes are alive again. 18 points to 14. They have about 19 minutes of the match to go. We've a last 19 minutes in prospect here that'll be absolutely riveting. The catch taken there by Hannes Stradum. South Africa again trying to roll them all away. You know, when you've got, what have they got there? About 835 kilos of South African beef taking that ball away, but they've left it to Robert Duprea. Across there goes Kampong, the replacement fullback. James Small tried to intercept it, but the bounce beat him. It prevents a lot of obstruction. Willie Schmidt got to it, and it was taken by Stradum. That's Ruma trying to work it clear, but Staker goes in to take it away from Ruma. Now it's along the line there to Strauss. Strauss to his standoff half. A great chance here as it goes out there to Olivier. Olivier accelerating through. Olivier almost to the line. A marvellous run by him. And Van Rensburg is up in the line as well. They're 2 metres short of the French line. Still a great opportunity for them. Van Rensburg with a drop goal attempt, but he was badly off balance. It might still be a try for James Small. But the referee was right on the ball. James Small was beaten by the bounce. Francois Pinard almost made it as well. I tell you, it's all excitement here, and I wish they'd quieten down a bit because commentators need a rest as well.
But that was a wonderful passage of play. South Africa kept the ball alive magnificently with backs and forwards working in concert. When the ball came to Jacques Olivier, we saw exactly how he could.
Good smuggling by the French forward. Ruma has it. Weber, Penaud, Lacra. He had to hurry, and he hasn't found his touch. James Small, he loves to run. The lovely long one out to Van Rensburg. Van Rensburg to Strauss, on to Small. Small beautifully to Van Rensburg, to Pinard. Pinard is almost up to the 22. This is the kind of rugby football that all of South Africa has wanted to see. This is the Springboks really showing us what they can do. He's 6'2", that's it. 190 would that be. We, of course, in Scotland are a bit backward. We still talk about 6'2". Here, a lovely pass out there to Van Rensburg. Nicely out again. And a good run there by Small coming inside. Fultz takes it on a bit further. And this is becoming very good adventurous rugby by the South African. Small feeding out again. Dupré to Strauss. Strauss, the bounce, a bad one. And it's Henny Leroux who gets it eventually. A chance here as Olivier goes weaving his way across to halfway. Pinard takes it out to Strauss. Wonderful work by the South Africans. It's Small on the way. And that tackle was in very early, and it was too early. Oh, hacking on the floor. I thought the tackle was fractionally early before the ball had come to the man. But what a superb bit of play by South Africa. Certainly, no matter what the result of this match is, I'm quite sure that the South Africans will go to Australia much heartened by their performance here. Meanwhile, it's Theo van Rensburg again with 3 penalty goals. This match, and with this attempt to cut the deficit to just 1 point again. Van Rensburg, has he got it straight through? Indeed he has. Another lovely kick by the fullback, and the stage is set for a last 6 minutes that will have us all biting our fingernails. France leading 18 points to 17. Twice, 9-5 in 58, 1914 in 67. The French seem to collapse that, and they're going to run it out from their own line. Van Rensburg, a lovely kick through meant for Olivier. Olivier judged it well. Campan has got it on halfway. He's going to get Olivier as well. And so a lovely bit of quick thinking by Olivier there. He felt that he had to keep the ball in play, and he did it so well on the burst.
Rensburg's position at this stage, he's just about half a metre inside the French half. I can tell you that's well within his range. I've seen him kick from his own half. And of course in the Currie Cup a couple of seasons ago, Van Rensburg under huge pressure missed a kick that would have given Transvaal the Currie Cup. He must be thinking about that at this stage with the match to be won. South Africa trailing by 1 point. We've got 1 minute left on the clock. If this goes over, surely there's no time for France to come back.
Theo van Rensburg is just a metre inside the French half. He's kicked 4 out of 7. It means it's a kick of 49 metres, plus a little bit extra for the angle. He can get the distance, it's getting the accuracy. Absolute quiet here at Ellispark. Van Rensburg, it's a massive kick. Has it crept over just underneath the bar? It was a lovely effort by him. The flags were actually raised, but in fact it was just short, and it stays at 18 points to 17 for France, and according to the scoreboard they're into injury time at the end.
How close is this match? Well, about a foot is the answer. That's how far that ball was underneath the bar, by my reckoning.
Once again, the French have worked a quick one, but this time Lacroix hasn't kicked it well. Tian Strauss takes it. That was a bad pass, but it worked all right. There's the switch to Van Rensburg. Van Rensburg has the big man Wexner outside him. Van Rensburg going through, outside to Olivier. Olivier almost up to the 22. A desperate tackle indeed there for the Frenchman by Weber. And they're into injury time. Can the South Africans produce one last great effort to pull this game round for them? 2020 last Saturday, 18-17 so far this. Once again, Stradon gets it. The drop goal attempt by Leroux. An interception there, and Benetton was the supporting forward up there. If he'd got it, he had a clear run to the line. The drop goal attempt by Leroux charged down, and Benetton was roaring. Africa will want to keep it in play. And Ole Schmidt looked to me as if he'd taken one against the head, and he has. Nicely out there to Small. And Small got up to tip it backward. Lotter was up there in support, but the kick through goes to Van Rensburg. Van Rensburg outside his own 22. Van Rensburg still on to Tian Strauss. Strauss driving just a little bit short of the cumulative support, but along the line nicely again to Leroux. Leroux to Foles. Foles out there to Olivier. Olivier hands off Bernard Salle. Back inside there to Foles. Almost up to the French 22. What a fighting effort this is by the South Africans, as the ball is cleared there by Bernard Salle. And Ole Schmidt may well be penalised for a late tackle on Bernard Salle. The touch judge Gareth Simmons has seen it, and he's got his flag straight out. This could be a penalty to France.
I reckon I saw an errant knee there from Ole Schmidt. We're going to see this in slow motion as there's Ole going over the top, and here we go now. Yes, oh my word. Well, I think that might have put Dingan Tabela down. Never mind Bernard Salle. Really, if Simmons has seen that clearly, then I think Ule's going to have to go.
That's Bernard Salle there, who scored 3 tries in the match against Romania just last month. And Ole Schmidt here, yes, he's been told he's very lucky. It was late, and it has injured the player, but the referee has said, do that again and you go. And of course, under the foul play law, you can caution and put him off next time. It doesn't matter. All that is irrelevant. France have won by 18 points to 17. Their supporters and replacements are tearing onto the field. They are overjoyed, but let's be quite sure about it. This was a vastly improved South African performance.